It's time to get to addressing something kind of awkward for me, at least.
It's weird.
It's mad weird. This is a dude we loved.
Yep.
Jamaal Williams.
He was a fan favorite by far.
Taking shots at us.
I gave him a Goku statue. He ghosted me.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked. But
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
His villain arc.
Yeah, this is a villain arc. Good thing I
What?
nothing. I don't know. Good thing I put rocks in there and didn't give him the actual statue.
Where it's just a drawing of the statue at the back of the box.
But we have the audio, Chris, if you want to play this real quick.
Because I didn't get to see this yet.
Jamaal Williams' introductory press conference with the New Orleans Saints talking about why he left the Detroit Lions.
Was that all he said? Was there more?
He just kept going on saying like blessings and
someone in the Woodward Sports chat said he's excited to be on a team that knows how to win a Super Bowl.
He said a team that's already knows how to win. It's been there before.
That's a little bit of a shot.
Veterans that have won playoff games, won Super Bowl. So he did take a little shots. And you said something about Dave Burkett talking about the contract offered to him.
Yeah, I gotta find the article on that one. We were talking about cats during the break and stuff, looking that up. But I guess like even beyond that, I guess to address like Jamaal like up front. Sorry, thank you to the fans. Like what I think on this topic, like he's an emotional guy. He was that with the Detroit Lions. He was an emotional leader. I'm not gonna sit up here and bash him because I enjoyed Jamaal's time as a Detroit Lion, and I'm not gonna go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what you kind of should have expected out of him. I think us as humans, and maybe even like just successful humans in general, like we talk about it all the time, and the successful people talk about it all the time too. Like all these haters, I proved all my haters wrong, and when sometimes, not everybody, some people are a bit more humble about it, but like sometimes you have to like make that narrative in your head to keep you driven. You know what I'm saying? To keep you from veering off the path, and that's just probably what he's doing.
Yeah,
we've known him to be that here in Detroit. He spoke about it. You saw the post game interview with on the Green Bay Packers. You know, dude broke down to tears, and then it's all dog around his mug. And you respect the Detroit Lions, like all that. That's what drives Jamaal.
Yeah,
he watched a lot of anime. I hear there's great storytelling. You love it.
Yeah.
You're grown men, so
sure.
The storylines must be good. They got to be good. Matter of fact, what anime character does Jamaal become in this story? Like, who's relevant to him? Like, just backstabbing everything he said from before and had you tricked and made you fall in love with him, and then bam, bad guy.
That's a good question. Kind of like Sasuke.
You calling him gay now?
Sasuke. Okay. Maybe a little
Sasuke.
bit, but it's
Sasuke.
It's tough. It's tough to see because he was a fan favorite, and that part where he's saying, like they throw some shots or it was very disrespectful. I was all right. You know, how much do they offer him? Do they offer him what, $2 million a year, something like that? But there are reports out there that they offered him more than the deal he signed, which is confusing to say the least. And I think Andrew Heen puts it the best. He says, but it's a business. And that's what it is. It's a business. Brad Holmes has been upfront. He has been vocal about wanting to improve, about wanting to get better at every position. And yeah, Jamaal Williams, what he did for the Detroit Lions last year, he had a great year. Over 1,000 yards, broke Barry Sanders' record. Kind of a goal line merchant. We can all say that, and we can agree with that. But David Montgomery is a better back. He's a more complete back. He's a more elusive back. He's better in open space. He's more fit to be a number one running back on a team. So I'm cool with it. Like, I understand that he feels bad. Oh, Reiner. Reiner's a good one, Jeff Merrill. That's a really good one, actually. I should have thought about that.
Who's Reiner?
From Attack on Titan. He was like down with the squad. All his friends are dying. Everything's going, because they're like Attack on Titan. They're like fighting these giants, and the giants they're like big dumb idiots and walk around and eat people. And it turns out he was one of the giants the whole time.
But he just wasn't giant. How do you not know?
Because they can turn into one.
Oh my God, I hate anime.
No, dude, it's a fantastic show.
Um,
That's a good one. Reiner is a good one. That's
But
better than Sasuke. 'Cause Sasuke becomes good at the end.
reports did come out that Jamaal was offered a deal similar to what David Montgomery got from the Detroit Lions, and it was just a duel between he and his agent, and they were out there looking for a better deal, and ultimately he fucked himself. That's something that we predicted here on this show. And by the way, we're speaking to another thing, next topic, something else we predicted that we still yet to come true, to be honest with you. But that's exactly what we said was going to happen, or what we said is going to happen. Is like he outpriced himself.
Yeah.
He thought he was worth more than what he could get, and maybe that sounds a little bit disrespectful, but like the running back position, that's what it's been the past couple of years. And even just as a responsible GM beyond like the running back position, like you can't just be giving everybody the biggest type of contracts. And at a certain point too, you kind of have to set the standard for. I guess no, like you can't say that because Jamaal had a great season. If you want to set a standard, you pay somebody who had a great season, but it was due to the team. You know what I'm saying? Football is the ultimate team sport. Did Jamaal have great individual success? Yes. But behind a great offensive line? Yes. It's one of the reasons why I used to hate the guard talk in the first round. Like this offensive line is great. You heard Dave Montgomery talk about salvating to play behind this Detroit Lions offensive line. It's because it was a great offensive line. They just added Graham Glasgow to it too, which I believe is an upgrade over what you had last year. Granted, last year was, again, that rotating door of bodies, but for Jamaal to be emotional about what went down, I'm not surprised. And I'm also not surprised about what happened. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because he did have a great season. He did lead the league. But at the end of the day, it was more so a team effort. The most carries in between the 10-yard line and the goal line out of everybody, 45 to 29. The next closest was 29.
And
it's a hell of a lot, almost double.
He's aging.
He is aging.
David Montgomery is younger. He is aging. David Montgomery is younger. David Montgomery is an established, number one running back.
Yes.
He can do more for a team. He is more versatile for a team than a Jamaal Williams. So if you're telling me, would I rather pay Jamaal Williams $4 million or David Montgomery $6 million, it's easily David Montgomery $6 million.
Yes.
Easily.
You thought I was feeling you?
He was
Cool.
Because
I was feeling him, but
Yeah.
I love Jamaal Williams.
That's why I
obviously,
don't be mad.
Big anime guy, big manga guy. I respect it, and he
hentai guy.
Big hentai guy, and he plays. He obviously filled a very. He obviously filled a great role for the Detroit Lions and had a lot of success, but at the end of the day, when you boil it down, he's a short yardage back. And you can't afford to pay a short yardage back the same amount of money as you paid somebody else. David Montgomery is not just a short yardage back. David Montgomery can do more, and that's why he gets more money.
4th most broken tackles since being drafted into the NFL.
Yeah.
That's behind a weak Bears offensive line. Like, when he gets behind this Detroit Lions offensive line, I'm telling you guys, like, this sounds... Actually, I'm going to say it right now. And the only thing I think that can prevent this is injuries. David Montgomery will be a star behind this Detroit Lions offensive line. And it won't be a long. You see all what's happening with Ezekiel Elliott. It's not going to be an Adrian Peterson type situation, but he's definitely going to be the Josh Jacobs type. He's definitely going to be somebody you probably want to pick up on your fantasy football team this year, if I'm being quite honest with you. Especially in the scenario if they lose DJ Chark. They're going to be running the fuck out of that football.
Yeah.
David Montgomery can be a star with the Detroit Lions. 4th most broken tackles in the league.
Yeah.
Behind the broken-ass Chicago Bears. Come on now. Jamaal setting 1,000-yard records, breaking Barry Sanders touchdown records. Like, no offense, but what do you think that David Montgomery's going to do? It's going to be a lot more. And the tandem of him and DeAndre Swift, it's going to be nasty. We could be sad for Jamaal, sure, but he's still making millions of dollars. He still might very well be in a great situation in New Orleans because they did just sign David Carr, and it is a weak division, and maybe they will go to the playoffs. Shit, they might see the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. Maybe they come back to Ford Field. Wouldn't that be something? But how does it affect the Detroit Lions? Jamaal sitting here and he's not really talking trash. He just said it was a disrespectful offer, but I'm not mad about it. If you did the playoff situation, the Super Bowl situation, sure. But again, this is an emotional guy that we know is driven by emotion. It's not anything that's going to surprise me, so I'm not going to act or react in a angry way. There's just no need to. He's a good guy at the end of the day. He always interacted with the fans. Every single last one of them. Shit, he threw football at me, and I saved everything King's life. Shot out. But I can't be too mad at Jamaal. He's still a great dude. Chris, I know you had that poster of him dressed up as a cat on your poster in your room. How do you feel about the Jamaal Williams taking shots?
There's no such thing that exists in my room.
What do you mean? It's on your ceiling.
There's no such thing on my ceiling. My ceiling is blank. But I'm overall, I'm with you guys. Like, I don't really have too much to say. I think it's one of those things where you're better off just not saying too much, because at the end of the day, Jamaal Williams did do a lot for the city, was a great teammate, meant a lot to the locker room and the organization as a whole. And this is just the unfortunate side of sports business. This is the part where, they say, hey, sorry, it's a business. And all I can do is just, wish Jamaal Williams the best in his next endeavor. And as for Detroit, I'm happy with who Detroit has now.
Did you get that picture of my boy?
Let's see.
He did not. I was just say, throw it up. All right, this is the mark of the beast.
Oh, yeah.
Brad Holmes, a.k.a. the villain.